Welcome to a journey beyond the limits of science, beyond the arrogance of man, and into the terrifying unknown. In this video, we uncover the story of a corporation that defied nature itself. A company that saw humanity not as an end, but as a means to something far greater. But what happens when a company seeks to control life? When the pursuit of progress leads to something far worse than extinction? What is a civilization without fear, without control, without limits? For centuries, empires have risen and fallen, each seeking dominion over their world. Some through conquest, others through faith. But in the end, they all crumbled because power alone does not grant survival. But there was one entity that refused to crumble. One force that learned to adapt, to consume, to evolve. Its name was Weyland-Yutani. A corporation that did not seek to rule but to outlast. A company that saw the future not as a place to be explored, but as a resource to be exploited. The megacorporation that redefined progress, that saw the stars as a new frontier, not for discovery but for dominion. Prepare yourself, because the truth is far darker than you imagine. This is the story of the company that defied death itself. There are those who dream of a better future, and then there are those who seek to own it. Some believe in innovation, others in control, but only a few dream of eternity. Weyland-Yutani was not just a company of ambition. It was not just an industrial empire. It was something else. It was something else. A force that sought not only to build the future, but to shape it in its own image. But the universe does not bend so easily. And those who reach for ultimate power often find themselves consumed by the very forces they seek to control. The roots of Weyland-Yutani stretch deep into history, born from the ambitions of two separate titans. Weyland Corp, founded by Peter Weyland, was a pioneer of artificial intelligence, synthetic life, and space colonization. Yutani, an Eastern corporate powerhouse, mastered cybernetics and bioengineering. When these two forces merged, they became something far more dangerous than either alone. A perfect machine with only one directive: expansion at any cost. The company's advancements were not meant to uplift humanity. They were meant to reshape it, control it, reduce it to an asset, a calculation on a balance sheet. They did not seek to cure disease. They did not seek to end suffering. Weyland-Yutani had one goal: to surpass the limits of human existence itself. At first, the world saw progress, terraforming projects, interstellar trade, breakthroughs in synthetic intelligence, the impossible made real. But progress always comes with a cost. As Weyland-Yutani's grip tightened, a question remained unanswered. What is a corporation but a kingdom? What is a CEO but an emperor? What is a CEO but an emperor? And what is an empire without absolute control? For centuries, mankind has feared what lurks beyond the stars. Stories of monsters, of horrors beyond human comprehension. The unknown, vast and merciless. Weyland-Yutani did not fear the unknown. They sought to own it. Their research reached into the darkest corners of existence. Bioengineering projects that defied ethics. Artificial minds that questioned their creators. Creatures born not from nature, but from the company's relentless pursuits of profit. And then they found something. Something that should never have been found, not an opportunity. Not a discovery, but a force. A perfect organism. The ultimate life form, the Xenomorph. For Weyland-Yutani, it was not a monster. It was not a threat, it was the future. A living weapon beyond human control. A force of nature that could be harvested, replicated, refined. They did not fear it. They envied it. If evolution could create such perfection, then why should humanity remain weak? Why should they be bound by flesh, by mortality? The company had long abandoned the idea that humanity should be preserved. Instead, it should be perfected. But life cannot be controlled. Not truly. Weyland-Yutani's ambition led them to the brink of disaster. Outbreaks. Research stations lost to chaos. Entire colonies sacrificed in the name of progress. They buried the truth beneath corporate reports, silenced the few who dared to question their actions. And yet, the company endured. Because fear is a powerful tool, governments fell into step. Military contracts fueled expansion. Humanity's reach into the stars was guided by a company that no longer saw them as people, but as resources. If life could be controlled, then surely it had to be created by something greater. The beings who, according to secret research, were the architects of all life, but they did not seek to understand them. They sought to harness them, to claim their technology, to take their power, but the gods do not answer to corporations. When Weyland-Yutani sent their first missions to investigate, they did not find willing teachers, they found warnings. They found death. They found forces that saw them as nothing more than insects, unworthy of the power they sought to steal. And yet, the company did not stop. Because corporations do not need gods, they do not need permission, they only need results. And Weyland-Yutani had already gone too far to turn back, even as their own creations turned against them. Even as their own weapons devoured them, even as the universe itself rejected their arrogance. Weyland-Yutani does not truly die. It evolves. It adapts. It endures. The pursuit of power did not stop. The search for control did not stop. The hunger for perfection did not stop. And somewhere, in the depths of space, on stations hidden from the public eye, their experiments continue. The whispers of research teams pushing further than they ever dared before. Synthetic minds asking questions that no human can answer. The sound of something moving in the dark, waiting to be unleashed. And in those quiet moments, one question lingers. Weyland-Yutani win? Did they find their answer? Or did they, like so many before them, simply become another cautionary tale? A reminder that some knowledge should never be sought. Some power should never be claimed. That perfection is never given. Vote any, it's taken, only taken.